And so, you know, now I gotta kick his ass. But yo, I'm aware of the public sentiment on this fight. I got the whole world against me, but luckily for me, I believe what I believe. I believe I can pull this.
Logan Paul states that he wants to avenge Jake's defeat. Via sports claim, Logan Paul wants to avenge Jake Paul by fighting Anthony Joshua.
And Anthony Joshua, you carried the torch for the boxing community. Because I know a lot of like straight up boxers, they absolutely felt
wins than him, and also absolutely nothing to lose against a guy who's got literally everything to lose. If I knock this dude out, because all it takes is one punch in the right spot.
AJ said, and everybody knows, he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level, way out of his level.
And so this is the same situation. You know, Logan Paul's fans think, oh my God, he's going to fight, you know, and they'll be able to talk him into it. You go there. I can remember watching Logan Paul against KSI, and the crowd, it was like little kids running about. Little kids running, but when their moms were packed lunch and everything so they could sit down and get ready. They turned up at the beginning of the night.
I like wince because he's a big man and he's an incredible boxer and he's still in his prime and he's got a very long reach and he's got a lot of power in that right hand, and that left hook is terrifying as well, and so I thought it could end it.
Anything for his career, for his bank account, everything, for his development. I don't think he did anything for his development because he didn't have somebody in front of him that wanted to test his development.
Was never really in doubt.
I think that he needed to get the job done inside the distance, you know, and he done it. Look, he could have done it at any given point. I think that he could have cut the ring off whenever he wanted to and got Jake Paul out of there. He took his time on that. He allowed Jake Paul to run around like a rabbit and throw the occasional shot from time to time. And I think he only landed one clean punch, didn't he, Anthony Joshua? And that was the one that broke his jaw in two places.
But I mean, you
are they
in there against someone? You want to go through a fight camp and get in there against someone and destroy them, so that when you approach the Tyson Fury fight, you know you are at your best, like physically and mentally, which is very, very important because of what AJ's gone through in the life.
Everybody. So I think they'll be looking at a slightly easier option for Anthony Joshua to, like Tyson Fury had, with all due respect, and then move straight into that fight.
So you're looking at AJ fighting this warm-up in July and then Fury in November?
100%.
So that's the plan?
That's the absolute.
Of all the heavyweights around the world, it is the biggest fight in boxing to it, even now. But you can't leave it too long. You know, and we've had the Gypsies warning. AJ got turned over. Fury's been retired. Now that you've got the chance for this to happen, you can't leave it too long, because one of them lose. That's no longer the biggest fight in boxing.
So AJ doesn't get a warm up.
And you know what? I think AJ and Fury is bigger than anybody you put in.
Logan Paul just called out Anthony Joshua on live TV, and AJ's response, absolutely brutal. Look, we've seen influencer callouts before, but this wasn't just some social media post. Logan went straight at a former heavyweight champion live on air demanding a fight. The confidence, unreal. Here's where it gets wild though. Logan actually believes one clean shot could change everything. He's not just playing around anymore. This dude thinks he can hang with elite heavyweight competition. But the boxing world, they're not having it. Duke McKenzie just destroyed Logan's credibility in the most savage way possible. Called out the massive gap between influencer boxing and real heavyweight competition. And get this, Anthony Joshua fired back with the coldest response you'll ever hear. No screaming, no drama, just pure ice. He reminded everyone that respect in boxing isn't claimed through callouts. Johnny Nelson dropped the reality bomb next, said the hype has officially reached its limit. That attention-grabbing phase, it's over. Now you either prove yourself against real opposition or get exposed as promotional noise. Here's what nobody's talking about though. Ariel Helwani broke down exactly why AJ is still one of the most dangerous heavyweights alive. Every punch carries serious intent. Elite reach, timing, knockout power. But here's the kicker. Some experts think AJ needs a tune-up fight first. Spencer Oliver pointed out that dominance was expected in his last performance but wasn't fully delivered. Questions about killer instinct. Eddie Hearn just laid out the roadmap. Strategic step-by-step approach. Warm-up bout to rebuild rhythm and confidence before the massive showdowns. They're protecting momentum while building toward legacy-defining fights. The urgency is real though. Johnny Nelson stressed that timing is everything in heavyweight boxing. These mega fights lose value if delayed too long. One unexpected loss changes everything instantly. So here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. AJ's path is being carefully managed, while names like Fury and Wilder remain part of the heavyweight puzzle fans want resolved. The danger? Careers change fast in this division. Form drops, someone shocks the world, and the entire landscape shifts overnight. That's what makes this era so unpredictable and compelling. At the end of it all, it comes down to timing, confidence, and who wants it more when the lights are brightest. Are you backing Anthony Joshua to dominate his way through these challenges, or is a shock upset waiting to change everything? The heavyweight division is more wide open than people realize. Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if this breakdown opened your eyes, and subscribe because the biggest fights in boxing are about to go down. I'll see you in the next one. But wait, there's something even crazier happening that nobody saw coming. Jake Paul just inserted himself into this entire situation. And his angle? Absolutely genius from a business perspective. Jake's claiming that Logan's callout proves the Paul brothers have officially taken over combat sports marketing. He's positioning this as validation that traditional boxing promotion is dead. The influencer model isn't just working, it's dominating the conversation. Here's where it gets absolutely insane though. Jake dropped insider information about potential purse splits that would make your head spin. We're talking numbers that dwarf what most legitimate contenders see for title eliminators. The old guard is panicking. Frank Warren came out swinging, saying this circus atmosphere is destroying boxing's credibility. But here's the reality check nobody wants to admit. These influencer fights are generating more buzz than most legitimate heavyweight bouts. And Anthony Joshua? He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. AJ's team just leaked that they're considering a massive multi-fight deal that would include both Paul brothers as potential opponents. The money is too big to ignore. Eddie Hearn confirmed something that changes everything. They're exploring a tournament-style format where AJ would face multiple opponents in rapid succession. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and legitimate heavyweight contenders all mixed together. The brilliant part? It solves multiple problems simultaneously. AJ gets his tune-up fights, the Pauls get their massive payday, and boxing fans get to see if these influencers can actually survive against elite competition. But the boxing purists are absolutely losing their minds. Lennox Lewis just went nuclear on social media, calling this the worst thing to happen to heavyweight boxing since the alphabet soup of sanctioning bodies destroyed clear championship lineage.
And so, now I gotta kick his ass. But yo, I'm aware of the public sentiment on this fight. I got the whole world against me, but luckily for me, I believe what I believe. I believe I can pull this.
Logan Paul states that he wants to avenge Jake's defeat. Via sports claim, Logan Paul wants to avenge Jake Paul by fighting Anthony Joshua.
And Anthony Joshua, you carried the torch for the boxing community. Because I know a lot of straight up boxers, they absolutely